Heal yourself with the power of consciousness. Before we start, let's have a moment's silence, please. So I'd now like to ask Monica to introduce Dr. Yogesh Mohan to you all. Enjoy the session, everybody.
Thank you, Jay. And a very warm welcome to everyone today. Today's speaker is Dr. Yogesh Mohan. I'm sure most of us would know him already. So it's a delight to introduce him today. Dr. Yogesh Mohan is a clinical doctor and has a lot of rich experience using consciousness as medicine in his clinical practice. He's based in Chennai and he's also CEO of Savita Medical College and Hospital. So looking forward to the session today. Over to you, Dr. Yogesh.
Good evening, friends. Thanks, James. Thanks, Monica, for the kind words. So, we have come together and developed a very comprehensive series of sessions from speakers who have a wide range of understanding and experience in dealing with people, clients, patients, and helping them on their path of self-discovery and healing. So today's session, it would be nice if we could make it more interactive, and if each one of us who are live on the session, we participate fully and contribute to us creating a beautiful outer and an inner environment of love, peace, and healing. So I request each one of you, you can please share your expectations, come up with your own queries or questions, or you have anything else to share regarding this broad theme of self-healing by consciousness. So you can unmute yourself and speak. That would be nice.
So the volume is very low.
Okay, good. We have that response that way. I don't know what to do with the volume. Maybe we just have to sharpen our ears and I have to speak a bit louder.
Yes, you could speak a bit louder, Yogesh. Yeah?
So there must be something which brought all of you towards this session. So what is it that you would expect? What is it that you're looking forward?
Hi, my name is Claudia. I am looking for the cure for epilepsy.
Hi Yogesh ji, Saurabh this side.
Yes, Saurabh.
So my query is, so when we say consciousness as medicine,
Yeah.
so in your experience, what kind of imbalances or diseases you have observed which have been cured by consciousness, like? And yeah, I was curious to understand, like, when we say this as a medicine, what we exactly mean.
Okay. Yes, I will talk about that, Saurabh.
Thank you.
This is Lotus, and the question I have for you is, during this time of COVID transmissions from the vaccines, what do you recommend for those that realize that, oopsie, I should not have taken these poisonous backs? What can they do?
Okay. The question is regarding the vaccine. Okay.
My name is Mahalakshmi, and I'm keen to understand how we can use our self-consciousness and our deep inner self for enhancing and strengthening our holistic health states, both physical and emotional.
Okay. We have Nalini, we have Jayashri, Sophie, Jagdish, Dr. Vidhi. All are online. Vibhas, Vinay, Shilpa, Vipin, Ashwani, Diana.
Yes, I am online.
Hi, Jagdish.
Yeah.
Hey, Jagdish, you want to say something?
No, I would just say I'm online. You asked,
Okay.
are you online? Yes.
Okay.
Nice seeing you after a long time, Dr. Yogesh.
Good. Dr. Riddhi is there. Dr. Riddhi Jindal. Online. Devi.
Yes, hi Yogesh, I'm there.
Hi, Dr. Riddhi.
Anji, so I have read this book and I wanted to discuss it with somebody because it was a very intense book. So the integral health, the integral healing basically. So yeah, it will be great if we can discuss that.
Coming in, Dr. Riddhi, I could not catch you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yes, good.
So I have read this book, Integral Healing.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's an intense book. Yes, it's beyond the healing. It was beyond what I knew about healing. So I wanted to, if we can go more deeper into the associations of what this book was about. So I was looking forward to that.
Okay. Great. Yes, anyone else would like to say something before we start?
Hello, I would like to know about autoimmune disease. How to solve autoimmune disease.
Okay.
Looking forward for the experiential session.
Okay, Mahalakshmi. I was just a small piece of advice, practical one. Of course, I will try to speak louder, so that I'm audible. But somehow, as we go into a meditative state, naturally the voice, everything goes down. So just try to be in a very quiet place in which there's a pin drop silence, so that even if there's a very feeble sound, you're able to capture it. And also I suggest, if my voice is not audible, don't worry about it. Just be quiet and just listen very passively. If something is relevant, you will get it. If it's not relevant, let it go. Also, in the course of the session, I'll be talking about many things. Some of these things your intellect may accept. Some of the things your intellect may not accept. So the things which your intellect accepts, let them accept. But there'll be some things which are outside our, present scope of understanding and experience. So don't allow your mind to get into a natural phase of, what you call mental gymnastics, trying to analyze, evaluate, and trying to make sense of things. Why is it so? Because all that will disturb the experience. So if there are 100 things I'll tell, maybe there are 50 things in which you sync with me. It's okay, fair enough. Let those 50 things affect you, and you take those 50 things back home. Don't worry about the other 50 if they create in you any sense of conflict. Because in my understanding and experience of giving workshops for the last 10 years or so on the same subject, the only thing which comes in our way of new learning, a new experience, is the mind, the intellectual mind, the rational mind, which wants to understand everything with its known template. So since I assume that the subject is not a very acceptable science, or it's not something which is you can call it very scientifically proved stuff. So there would be many concepts which are beyond the realm of rational thinking and our immediate known perspectives. But we are actually moving into a new domain. We are talking about a new mode of healing, which goes beyond the known systems of healing. We are not talking about Ayurveda. We are not talking about Chinese system. We are not talking about pranic healing, any things which are there in the market or which are there available to us. We are talking about I would say a whole new paradigm of healing, a whole new paradigm of medicine, in which I will say we know very little. The paths are not well laid out. The things are not so structured, and there's a whole lot of knowledge and expertise and experience yet to be obtained by the humankind. So the knowledge, the experience is as of now pretty much limited to the number of people, and even among the number of people who know, understand, experience, practice, is still pretty rudimentary, I would say. My journey in this field, theoretically it started in 1992, but my first experience, which actually opened my eyes and made me realize, oh my God, all that we have been reading in Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's books is a reality. It's not just a theory, it's not a philosophy, it's not just a dream, it's very much real. That was in 2009. And since 2009-2010, and since that day, I have treated many different types of patients with all types of various types of disorders. I have understood a little bit about what works, what does not work, how healing happens, how it does not. So what I share with you today, sort of a gist of all those almost a decade of work in this line. At the same time, as somebody was asking me the question that what we can treat with it, what we cannot treat with it, I say I'm not the right person to answer this question. And I feel there's nobody who can answer that question also. Nobody has the right to answer that question for a very simple reason. Who knows what can be healed and what cannot be healed? No? Who decides that? Just because my understanding is limited or my expertise is limited does not mean we deny the possibility of healing for a humankind. No? Because what we are talking about in this field, with consciousness as medicine, is primarily activating the Shakti which is inherent in the body, in the powers which are inherent in the human being, the human consciousness. Who can? I don't think there's anyone who can limit that. Anybody who can say this is all you can do. You cannot go beyond that. We can only say yes, this is possible. It is possible because we have done that. We have seen that. We have experienced that. We can only say what is possible. We cannot say what is not possible. Okay, so that's very important to understand. It's a very very new field. Experiences are highly limited, but the possibilities are endless, limitless. So we cannot deny, we cannot limit to what is possible. So it's important to keep that perspective in mind when you hear different speakers, when you hear different people, because that much of humility is essential as a therapist, as a patient. So, what is it we know about? What is it that we know about the body, we know about health? So there's a lot I have understood about the human body. Now it's a well-known fact. It's no longer a query, but it's a very well-known fact that every emotion you have, every thought you have is actually a chemical change in the human brain. And since every thought is a chemical reaction, a chemical change also in the human brain. What it implies, and again it's a fact, no longer a theory, no longer a concept alone, that every emotion, every thought affects perhaps every cell of the body. So all that we think, all that we emote, we feel, all that we believe, now it affects every cell of your body, it affects every organ of your body, it affects every system of the body. That is just the reality. No. So we cannot escape that. It's just the way we are made. It's all interlinked. No. The body, the mind, the emotions, they're all linked. Depending on the perspective you have, depending on from where you look at it, you will explain it in different ways. You may explain in terms of energies, in terms of consciousness, in terms of molecules, in terms of enzymes, in terms of chemistry, whatever. But the fact remains that there is a change which happens in the body, and depending on your area of expertise, you will explain it in different ways. That's all. But the fact remains that we are all connected. We are connected to our mind, we are connected to our emotions, and we are also connected to the environment around us. So the people around you, their emotions, their thoughts, their beliefs, they also affect you equally. What they think about you, what they pray about you, everything affects your body, not just the mind, not just the emotions. So again, that's you can take it like a fact. We are all in it together. We are all in it together. No? Everything affects everything. I have a slightly no, a different approach, I would say, regards the body. It has come over the years of treating different types of people and getting different insights into the healing process. Most of us, rather all of us, we take our bodies for granted. We believe that body is a machine, physical instrument. It needs to be set right. It needs to be set right with drugs, with chemicals, with surgeries. That's our general belief, right? Now, if we get a headache, we believe that there is something wrong at a chemical level, and we try to, harmonize that by giving it drugs. Whether you give Ayurveda drugs or homeopathy or modern medicine, it's all the same at one level, because our belief is that there's something wrong here, and the only way you can correct it is by bringing in something from outside. Most of us have absolutely no connection with our bodies. We use our bodies. We use our body just like a machine, and we realize something is gone. We realize we have a pancreas, we have a lung, we have a heart only when something goes wrong with it. Only when there's autoimmune disorder, there's arthritis, we realize, oh my God, we had a joint, there's a joint, there's a synovial membrane, there's a joint cavity. We realize what's inside the body even at a physical level only when something goes wrong with it. Otherwise, all we know about it from pictures or from videos. So there's a big disconnect between ourselves and our body. So I think if you want to start a process of inner healing, if you want to start on that journey, the first thing we need to change is our relationship with the body. Rather than looking at the body like a machine, treating it like a machine, abusing it, using it, abusing it, like a machine, I think we must change that approach. We must have a different relationship with our body. We must respect our body. And rather than having a very distant relation, have a very close connect with the body. So that's where we need to start with. The body is not a machine. The body is a conscious being. It feels, it emotes, it has feelings of its own, it has a consciousness of its own. Not just the body as a whole, but every organ system also has a consciousness of its own. It has a life of its own, independent of the body full. That's something we need to understand very deeply, because that's the fundamental, that's the basic. If we don't follow the basics, and if we only deal with the superficial tools and techniques, we will not go very far. Our results will be very superficial, and we will not see the miracle. No. So if you want to see a miracle of healing, the miracle of self-healing, the secret is in this very, very deeper, fundamental approach towards our body, our organs, and ourselves. So if, let us say, I get pain in my knee joint, let's say I've sprained it, there's a ligament injury, a sprain, or a tear. What should I do? Using this approach, I would say, I understand first of all that my knee is a conscious being. I will try to first of all disconnect myself from the outer chaos in which generally we live. All of us live in an outer chaos of the mind and thoughts, which is more often than not just a chaotic field. The first thing we need to learn is to withdraw ourselves, close our eyes, withdraw ourselves from this outer chaos, and feel and experience a sense of calm, silence in the being. Because the moment we withdraw from outside, it's like the moment you shut your windows in your house, it's all quiet. The same way, the moment we withdraw from the outer world and move slightly inside our inner world, we'll experience that silence, that quietness. Now, with this state of inner silence, I will take my awareness, my inner sight towards my knee. And I will make an inner effort to visualize my knee, make an inner effort to feel in detail every part of my knee inside. With a little bit of practice, I will be actually able to see, visualize, feel the different parts inside the knee. Physically, I'll be able to feel the pain, the inflammation, the tenderness. I will also be able to recognize the feeling of fear, or the feeling or the thoughts of doubt in the body. It will all come to you with experience, with little practice. And once I'm able to visualize, feel the part of the body which is in pain, all I have to do is to form an inner connect from my heart, from the depths of my heart, to those tissues which are injured or which are suffering, and transmit the vibration of love, peace. And as those tissues receive these vibrations of love, of peace, they change. Those tissues which are in deep pain, they relax, they become calm and quiet, and they absorb this Shakti in the form of love, vibrations of love, vibrations of peace. And the other area inside the knee also becomes calm, becomes full of vibrant, beautiful light, and those vibrations of fear, doubt, somehow either they dissolve or they leave that space. So what happens is that the area of the body which was injured and was full of commotion, chaos, fear, doubts, suddenly transforms into a very beautiful space of love and peace, and the body starts trusting that it is going to heal well, that there is no need to fear, no need to worry, and healing will happen. I've just given you an example of a typical example of our approach, a direct approach of healing by invoking the power of love and peace in that part of the body. And when we experience this healing, it's not just the body which gets healed, but you would realize and experience a fundamental change in your consciousness, a very deep change in your perspective, your approach to your life and your body. You must understand that there are many approaches to healing the body. There are so many systems of medicines which are there in the world today. But all these systems of medicine which are there, they will only heal the body within their limitations of their scope. Every system has its own limitations, its own parameters, perimeter in which it works and does not work. But when we work and heal our own body, these powers of higher consciousness, love, divinity, life, it's not just the body which we are healing. First of all, the healing will be much more holistic, comprehensive, deep-seated, long-lasting, but it also opens up your being to a whole new vista of consciousness, a whole new field of knowledge and experience. So healing becomes and can be used as a very potent tool of sadhana, spiritual practice, yoga in a deepest sense. And looking at it from that perspective, healing a disease becomes a catalyst for your inner growth, a catalyst for your spiritual growth. And as we go deep into our being and we understand what happens, what is it that creates the disturbance, creates the disease process, we will realize on our own that actually most of the time we have created the environment for disease with our ordinary thinking, with our ordinary actions and reactions of life. fears, doubts, jealousy, desires, guilt. We harbor so many of these emotions, so many of these experiences which are still stuck in the physical body as memory, and they affect you. These things change the chemistry of the cells in your organs and create the disease process. It's not a question of theoretical understanding, but it's the field of practical experience and realization. So for all the people who are listening this session today, I invite you to a journey within yourself, a journey within your body. And learn to just keep each part of your body absolutely calm, joy, and in harmony. Unfortunately, in our outer lives, we don't even realize that there are so many parts of our being which are just not in a harmony. We are not aware of what's happening inside us. We are not aware at all of what's happening in our being. But so the first step is to close the eyes, turn inwards, and just become aware of your physical body. Become aware of these small little discomforts which are there. Try to bring your body to a sense of deep inner peace. That will happen once you withdraw your consciousness from the outer world. And if there is something which still troubles you mentally, you may invoke the presence of the divine, invoke the presence of your guru whom you trust, full confidence and faith, hand over the issue, the problem to the divine or to the Guru. Whenever there is something which overwhelms you, you feel you cannot handle it, please hand over the entire problem to the divine and become free from those vibrations, from those thoughts of the problem. You will feel as if the huge burden from your being is lifted, and you become so light. Somewhere the Divine Mother says that your only job is to remain cheerful and happy. Actually, there is no reason for us to worry about things which are not worth worrying about. And if you really feel there's something worth worrying about, just hand over to the Divine. So when the being is free from any element of stress, any element of worry, and when you invoke the presence of the Divine, when it's the divine vibrations which are around you, inside you, then healing happens naturally, and who will limit what is possible and what is not possible in that state? In that state, we actually open up a whole new realm of possibilities, a whole new realm of miracles can happen, which to an outer consciousness appears miraculous, but it's only miraculous because we don't understand the laws. Everything in the outer world, in our inner world happens as per the laws of nature, the laws of that state of consciousness. So if you want to heal your body, if you want to heal the mind, it's our responsibility to create the best possible inner environment for that to happen. So that is in our hands. See, in all other systems of medicine, we are at the mercy of the doctor, the therapist, how good he is, on the medicines, how good they are. When we talk about self-healing, when we talk about consciousness healing. And we are not dependent, we are not limited by anybody outside us. The entire freedom, the entire control is with us. And that is something so beautiful about it. I have the power to heal my body. I have the tools to heal my body. And I have all the time of the world to do that. I'm not limited by anybody or by anything else around me, outside me. How empowering is that? And I tell you one simple thing. Every cell in the body is conscious. Every cell in the body is connected to each other. So as long as the cell is alive and you can connect to it, there is always a possibility. There's always a possibility. Some things will heal quickly because maybe we have sorted out the issue easily. It was a superficial disturbance and the body comes back to it. Some diseases, some people, the problem may be more deep-seated. The problem may be more obscure, more hidden. And also it depends on our receptivity. But one thing I can assure you, that once you go on your inner journey of healing, you will discover some things about yourself. And you will feel much more at ease, much more at peace, and feel much more stronger and confident about your own self. And the healing will also happen in its own time. In the group I have shared the book which Dr. Riddhi was talking about, the integral healing. That's a very beautiful compilation from the works of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. They will give us insights. They will give us open up the closed doors, and you will receive the right help at the right time. So I will close this session now, and would invite you to share your experiences and share your perspectives.
Hello, Dr. Yogesh. I have a question for you. I'm Ashwini here. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, you told me initially before starting, just when you started the session, about the people around you also affect your health, right? The people around, the way they talk, the way they are, all those energies. So how do we avoid them? How do we change them if they are filled with negative thoughts? Or they only speak negative?
I think first thing is we need to become aware and conscious that how things are affecting us, our body and our mind. No? Because awareness is always the first step. Like I am in a house, I need to be aware where my windows are open, where my doors are open, and what is happening outside. So if I become aware, oh, there is a storm outside and water is coming inside, I should know where my window is and know how to close it. But if something nice, sun is coming outside, I should be able to open the window and allow the sun to come in. So that awareness is important. Just like there is an awareness of the outer environment, we should be aware of what's happening in our inner environment also. And with that awareness only we can take appropriate action. And it is always possible to withdraw. No? Withdraw consciously, psychologically from the outer environment. Not to dwell on it. Not to give it that importance. So once you stop giving an importance to the outer environment, what people say, what people do, so their influence on you becomes much lesser.
Yes, doctor. Thank you so much.
We need to be rooted in our own psychic, rooted in our own will. Then we become strong. Anyone else?
Yogesh is Saurav again this side.
Yes, Saurav.
Yeah, I got the answer of my initial question. Just a follow-up question.
Yes. Can you speak a bit loudly, Saurav?
Sure. Am I audible now?
You're audible, but speak a little louder, that's all.
Okay, sure. So my question now is, in order to connect with the consciousness of other parts of our being, physical part, for example, does it help if we know the physical anatomy in a more better way than what we know at surface level?
We can, but it's not essential. It's not essential, and sometimes it is better not to know mentally, because then we are imagining things. So I don't want you to imagine things what you don't feel. So it's better to just go and just feel and experience things as they are, rather than imagining things which may or may not be there. So just trust, and just whatever you feel, whatever you experience, just trust it. It's important, no?
Okay.
Just trust yourself. Because the mind will always doubt. That's the nature of the mind.
Right, yeah.
Don't worry about that, but just trust.
Sure. Thanks.
I hope all of you can feel there's a sense of silence, even though we are remotely connected, but still we are connected, you see. And this, why I'm asking you to, one reason I'm asking you to all share, it helps in that connection, it helps in experiencing that collective atmosphere we have built around this session. And just like I am feeling that sense of silence and the peace, which is very different when we started the session, right? So even the session has progressed from the outer world slowly towards the inner world. I hope most of you were able to feel that atmosphere.
Yes, thank you. It was very sweet, very nice.
Yes, Yogesh, the sense of silence is very, very palpable. Thank you very much for a beautiful session. Really extraordinary. Okay, so we meet again tomorrow, 5 o'clock, with Gitanjali, Healing Consciously. Until then, wish you all a very good evening. Goodbye.